Hey,
So
Justin.
I'll take it.
So something I read in your bio, I just want to rewind a little bit here. Maybe I read somewhere along the lines that you spent some time with Lemmy.
Yeah, actually, because I had worked for Zach, I ended up working for George Lynch, and actually play with Lynch.
Okay.
So I would tech for him, and then he wanted, like, the last 4 songs, he wanted rhythm guitar and double leads. And he saw me playing and was like, dude, you should come and play, some songs with us. And I'm like, okay. I was fucking 23 years old, dude, and I would get on stage and I would play, like, Mr. Scary with them and all this shit. So anyway, through that, Martin Anderson, who is the bass player for Lizzie Borden, was playing bass for Lynch Mob at the time, and he hit me up and he was like, hey, Motorhead's looking for a tech. They're all their guys. They used to work for Soulfly, and so all the Motorhead guys, Motorhead's rehearsing, and their crew is in South America with Soulfly. So can you go down to their rehearsal studio and call this guy Adam Reeves or something, was their manager, and he'll tell you what's wrong. I call this guy Adam. He says, yeah, Phil's guitar rig stopped working. Can you go down there? We'll pay you $100 a day to figure out what the deal is. Okay. So I go down there, and I walk in the room, and there's Lemmy. And he was the nicest guy you could ever possibly want to meet. And he goes, yeah, I don't know what's wrong. His rig just stopped working, blah, 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 blah. But here, have a drink.
Love it.
Of course. A Lemmy.
Yeah, exactly. And I started looking at the rig, and all it was a dead 9-volt battery in the pedal. So
Low-hanging fruit, right? Go for the low-hanging fruit first.
Yeah, leave it to Motorhead to just not even know that, but just go up on stage and just fucking
I love it.
blow your head off. So then he's like, hey, you want to hear something? I'm like, yeah, sure. Somebody had a rental car, and we go in the rental car, and he played me the song "Shake Your Blood" that he did with Probot with Dave Grohl.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
And I'm sitting in a car with Lemmy, and he's playing me this new Probot song. And,
So you're hearing this shit when no one else is hearing this shit.
Yeah, it was before it was released.
Wow.
And he was just so cool. It was like he'd known me forever. There was no rock star bullshit. He was just the nicest guy you could possibly ever want to meet. Just an absolute gentleman. Just he let me play his bass through his rig.
The one
with
drink
the
to Lemmy.
acorns and the maple leaves and shit on it.
Oh, fuck.
I did. Like, he was just like, here, check it out. Here, put it on. Here, I'll turn on the amps for you. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, is this a dream?
So you got to play Lemmy's bass through Lemmy's rig.
I got to play Lemmy's bass through Lemmy's rig.
Wow, dude.
And I got to play Phil's rig through Phil's guitars through Phil's rig.
Wow.
And I got to play Zach Wild's rig through, in front of 80,000 people at the Wacken Festival in Germany.
Oh, fuck.
Nice.
Obviously, I did it every night.
Yeah.
That was like the big one.
Well, as well as being big.
Fucking bullseye guitar and hit an E chord, make sure it worked, and fucking 80,000 people just start screaming.
As well as being big Zach fans, we're all big Motorhead fans.
Absolutely.
I have a rule. I have a rule. If you're not a Motorhead fan, I don't want to be your friend.
I'm with you.
I'm also turning green with envy right now, you bastard. You're so lucky, man. This is amazing.
People say that all the time. They say, you're lucky and blah, blah, blah. And I guess, it used to piss me off, but I guess that there is a certain amount of luck involved.
Well, it's hard work too, obviously, right?
I I would say that there's also a tremendous amount of fortitude,
Yep.
drive,
100%.
that sort of makes that kind of stuff happen, and it just goes to show that if you can actually make things happen if you think about them enough.
Yep, for sure.
And that goes back to the psychosis.
Well, I guess by the sounds of it as well, it's with the.
And it just kind of like made things happen.
Well, by the sounds of it as well with the BLS thing, it's a bit of that, just having that attitude of just being able to say, yeah, I'm just going to throw caution to the wind, and I'm going to hop on a plane with 2 guitars and no clue what I'm doing and go just do this, and I'll learn along the way. Oh shit, we lost Justin.
It's okay, it's just a technical difficulty. We'll fucking get
We can't
it
edit it out.
Did your phone die?
No.
What are we at right now? We're at fucking 35 minutes.
Hang on, I got to get you back on speakerphone, bro.
Joel, we can two-parter it.
We can two-part
Put
it.
out the first part
Okay,
Monday
you're back.
and the second
We
part
dropped
Wednesday
you,
or
but you're
something.
back.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, it's my amazing cell phone carrier decides to drop calls right. Get out of the loop.
Yeah, we'll just edit that out. So, yeah, I was saying, I guess that the fortitude comes in that sort of like with your experience with BLS of just throwing caution to the wind and saying, okay, I'm going to get on a plane with 2 guitars and a half a clue of what I'm doing and just forge ahead.
And just go, because you don't know when these opportunities are going to arise, and it doesn't really matter if you don't know what you're doing. What are you going to do? Sit there for the rest of your life and kick yourself in the ass?
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Well,
yeah.
I should have done that.
Yeah, from your standpoint, like if you didn't do that, what are you doing now? Maybe you're working pumping gas at a Chevron.
You just got to ride the tide, I guess,
life-
sometimes, and fucking just go with it, right?
Completely different if I had not taken that chance, and because I cut my teeth with him, when it came to anybody else, it was whether it was a job in the guitar industry or whether it was a job teching. They were like, "Oh, you work for Zach Wild, you're in."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good resume.
No shit, yeah.
Yeah, that turned into working with Tommy Victor from Prong, and he plays guitar for Danzig. Next thing you know, I'm on the road with Danzig, and
That's
then
cool.
next thing you know, he starts bringing Doyle out.
Yeah.
And we start doing Misfit stuff.
Love
You
the
know.
Misfits.
Yeah, and I'm standing in a room with fucking Glenn Danzig, Tommy Victor, Johnny Kelly, fucking Doyle, and Randy from Lamb of God.
Oh my
just
God,
like,
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, and this is my life.
And it just becomes normal for you.
It's just a big whirlwind that becomes normal, yeah, for
It's
sure.
normal now, but the frustrating thing about it is that these guys, they don't know your talent. They don't know your ability. I mean, Tommy Victor does, but obviously he was on our last record. But so when you're teching, everybody looks at you as like a roadie, and if you were really a great player, well then why are you roadieing? So that became sort of frustrating for me. It was like, look, I can do this as well as the guys I'm working for, if not better, and that became really frustrating for me. So I don't do it a whole lot.
Right? Is that how Crown by Fire got sort of birthed? That desire to do your own.
Crown by Fire was sort of a thing where obviously after Zach, before Danzig and all that kind of stuff, like after the Lynch tours and stuff like that, I put together a band and put out an album, and I was really into it, but the singer, had a lot of issues, and we ended up getting rid of him, and hit up this dude, John Fitterer, who was from a band called Trans Ultra, and he's like, yeah, I'm done to jam, and he came down, and I had this riff, and and we like put the song together that first night, and the song was called "Crowned by Fire."
That's cool.
Cool.
And it actually ended up on Space Music for Cave People. It actually got cut out of Prone to Destroy, the first record.
Okay.
And it ended up on Space Music for Cave People. And then, so that ended up being the name of the band. And we just hit it hard. You know, I finally found a partner that knew what was up and was only as much of a fuck up as I was. And we just went after it, man. And we recorded a 5-song demo, stuck it on MySpace, and got signed.
That's
and
cool.
Got flown
That's
to
cool.
Florence, Italy, and recorded the first record in Florence, Italy.
Awesome.
Wow.
I really like the sound of John's voice. He's got like that sort of that Lemmy kind of thing, but it's not. It's not Lemmy, but it's got that
Growl?
That growl.
Hoarseness growl.
It's gravelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
And
word
his
for it.
lyrical
Yeah.
content is really
Gravel.
amazing.
Yeah,
He
we're
writes about shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you singing about, man? You know, that's just fucking out of control.
Yeah, we'll throw up a link for the Space Music for Cave People if anyone who wants to check out the video for that.
Yeah.
It's a great song, great guitar solo. You got some of those Zach and Dimebag kind of pings and harmonics in there, but without it being sort of sounding like them.
You made it your own with influence, I guess.
You definitely have your own identity, but you can hear the influences of Zach, and you can hear the influences of Randy Rhoads in there. You can hear the influences of Dimebag in there,
and definitely and even still Slash, where you've got that vibrato or the way you hold notes that it kind of goes back to even Slash that way.
Well, Something in Her Blood is very Slash. You know, it's kind of an ode to like Sweet Child of Mine. Kind of sort of where I came up with it, the same scale pattern. But Space Music for Cave People is a really odd song because of what it's about. Again, back to the lyrical content. It's very bizarre, and basically, you know, the idea is the reversal of history. So, cavemen going into a cave and finding, you know, motorheads scribed on the side of the rocks in the cave. You know, Black Sabbath. So it's kind of like the reversal of history. Which, you know, leave it to John to come up with something like that. It's just a very. It's been a fun ride, man. You know, it's a neat band, and you know, I definitely can say that it wouldn't be as good as it is without my good friend Chris Collier, you know, who's a producer extraordinaire, and he helps us configure things, and you know, configure this. He helps me with the solos, you know, and just produces us, and then makes the record sound badass.
Awesome.
You know, so it's been a cool ride, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So you guys have been recording. You got some new music coming up soon?
Yeah, we have a new EP. It was actually originally going to be a full length, but you know, nowadays everything is so different. You know, you could spend all this money recording a full length, and people are going to buy, you know, 2 or 3 songs.
Right.
You know,
you're kind of ripping a page out of Philip.
All this money on all this other shit.
Yeah,
so,
we're all old, so we actually go to the store and buy CDs.
I buy records, motherfucker. I still buy vinyl.
So I heard something about Philip H. Anselmo said something about how he just wants to produce EPs lately, and is that the reason why?
I would imagine so.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's like it's more from the musician standpoint. It's more bang for your buck, you know. And then you're able to put something else out sooner.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
And you know, but actually back to Space Music for Cave people, a really interesting thing about that song. We recorded that record at Zach Wild's Black Vatican studio.
Oh, that's cool.
We're the only band besides Black Label to record.
Really?
That's awesome.
And
That's interesting.
yeah, and with that particular song, I didn't really know what to do for a solo. And I was like, hey man, what would you do? You know? He's like, oh, let me see that guitar, Father.
I love it.
So here's a fucking weird story for you. So previous to that, before I left, I have an iPhone, and it was available for update. So I went to update the phone, but I didn't know that it took as long as it took. And I had to be up there at 11. He only lives a mile from me. So I was like, fuck, I gotta go, and the phone's still updating. And I didn't want to be late, so I stopped the update. Well, what it did was it shut my phone down. So it didn't work.
She got a brick.
So when
Goddamn
then I get up there,
iPhones.
and I'm like, oh, well, whatever. I'll figure it out when I get home. I get up there, and I ask him, what would you do on this song? And he picks up the Les Paul he gave me and starts ripping over that song for like 2 hours, dude. It's all recorded. But when he goes, okay, now you do it, and I was like, no, you already did it. Let's just put it out with your solo on it. He's
That's
like, no, you do
great.
it. And he forced me to play that solo. But with that being said, it exists. Him playing on that song.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
And one day, I'll get it from him. I don't know how, but it's on his hard drive. And one day, I'll release that song with him fucking playing the lead on it.
For 2 hours.
The special edition 2-hour version of Space People for
exactly.
Space Music for
Well,
Cave People.
Maybe we'll do my solo and then his solo. You know, I don't know.
Well, why don't you double them? Because I know much like me, you're a huge Thin Lizzy fan.
I'm a Thin Lizzy fanatic, dude.
Fuck. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just, I cannot say enough about Phil Lynott. That band is so fucking good.
And so underappreciated.
So underappreciated. And one of my favorite songs is Dancing in the Moonlight. And
Absolutely.
It doesn't even have barely any guitar on it. You know what I mean? It's just a fucking songwriting. It's like Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
It's like, I fucking love Cheap Trick, man. It's a goddamn songwriting, dude. You know?
A good song never goes wrong.
A good song never goes wrong. And that's, again, one of the things that I've learned from hanging with guys like this. It's all about the song, man. I used to we were on the road with Ozzy on the Ozfest, and with Ozzy, each guy has his own bus, and so it was just me and Zach on this $1 million bus, and like every night, like after the show, we'd be driving down the road, and he would just blast tunes, man, but it was always like the Stones and Elton John, and he would play me this one Elton John song over and over and over again. It's called Train Don't Stop Here Anymore, I think. And we would just fucking listen to it over and over and over. You just go, dude, fuck, that's so good, And just, so that's, that shit taught me a lot, man. At the time, I didn't know what I was learning, that I was learning. But that's exactly what I was. I don't even think it was really intentional for him to teach me, but,
just being friends, I guess, yeah.
Ass is, you're automatically going to learn.
Learning through osmosis.
Oh, nice.
Learning through osmosis, dude. To watch those guys get up on stage and play, to stand on the side of the stage and watch Ozzy.
That's badass.
Night after night after night. It's just, you could be Donald Trump's son, and you could not pay to get that experience.
That's cool.
Tell us about Moth. How did Moth come about, and what's happening with that band?
Moth happened. Crown by Fire did Ride for Time down in Dallas, Texas, and Kill Devil Hill was on the other. We were headlining the first night; they were headlining the second night, and met Dewey in a bar, you know, just getting fucked up because everybody's cruising around. It's kind of like a trade show sort of thing. And we just kind of knew him from there. And then Moth is an LA-based band, and a friend of mine who's in England in a band called King Creature. You guys got to check out King Creature.
King Creature.
King Creature. We'll be checking that out.
Yeah, King Creature. The guitar player for Moth moved like 8 hours away, and it left him without a guitar player. And the bass player Joe, who's the greatest guy in the fucking world, and Moth is like his, you know, brainchild. And he was talking to Matt from King Creature, saying that their guitar player moved and they don't know who they're going to get to fill in. And Matt was like, dude, you should hit up Justin Manning from Crown by Fire. And so he did. And I was like, yeah, send me some tunes, let me hear it. I've heard of you guys, but I've never actually heard it. And I knew Dewey was in the band, and then he sent me the shit. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is fucking killer. I'm in. So we just started learning the shit. You know, I said, hey, you want to shoot a video? I got a buddy that works for a big movie studio and has access to it. And so that's how that happened, man. And, you know, we did Shine. And that was the first song that I actually played on. And so there's more stuff coming in the future. You know?
Awesome. Awesome.
Cool.
Moth is one of those bands where it's like, it's not about getting signed. It's not about, like, you know, overtaking the earth. It just is. It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right,
it's
having
not
fun.
going away anytime soon. And when it happens, it happens. And when
That's
it doesn't,
cool.
don't worry about it.
Nice.
You know
So
what I
so
mean?
Crown,
It's-
Crown by Fire is your first wife. Moth's just your side chick.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, either one, I'd be more than happy to go out, you know, hit it hard. But it's just, you know, Joe's got kids and stuff like that, so it's
Gotcha.
it's all about, you know, yeah. I mean, you know, it's not my band. It's not my place to really say what happens when they want to do something. They let me know, and I'm there for them. You know what I mean? And yeah, Crown by Fire is more like my baby.
Yeah,
you know?
cool.
And, I kind of decide, you know, when we're going to do stuff with John. When we let the guys know what we're going to do, and we move forward from there.
Nice.
So yeah, so now we're just gotta put together an album cover, and then I think we're gonna release the new stuff digitally instead of dealing with the labels and the this and the that, spending of money, and then trying to get people to buy shit. You know, you got all these thousands of dollars invested in stuff. Maybe take a little bit more of the Moth approach. You know,
Just throw it out there and
just put it out there, because nowadays with the computers, it's like that's all you really got to do. I mean, all the hard work that we did, you know, in the past has gotten us to a point where, you know, we have a following, and they're going to buy it. They're going to eagerly be awaiting whatever it is we have to put out, and so that's what we're going to do.
Nice.
And I
Well,
can say that the new stuff is just, it's fucking nasty, man.
I will happily rock a T-shirt for you on this show all the time, but I'm a bigger dude, so make sure you make double XL T-shirts, man. And make sure they fucking fit properly too.
Double XL in the States is a pretty fucking common thing.
You would think so, dude, but some.
Well, not in California.
No, not in California. You got a lot of dudes running along the beach and shit with their dogs and stuff. So
I'm no David Hasselhoff here. I'm a fat Canadian with a whole bunch of tattoos. But if you can get me a double XL T-shirt, I will definitely support your band. I think you guys rock fucking shit. It's good stuff. I like it, and I want to hear more of it.
yeah,
and you got the Motorhead cover coming on the new album.
yeah.
Yeah, the Motorhead cover, we actually released that. You know, obviously it was recorded before Lemmy died, and was not intentional. It was just, I always loved that song. I always loved that record, Motorizer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every record,
Hell
every
yeah.
song they ever did was amazing. But
Yes.
that record in particular, first time I heard it, I was actually in Italy, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so fucking good. And that particular song, with everything that was going on with the elections and everything, it just felt fitting. And I just said, hey, what if we do this tune? And to my surprise, John was like, yeah. You know, usually we argue about that kind of shit. And the next day I was going to the studio, and I told Chris, I said, hey, let's map this out, let's record this. And then John came in and just fucking nailed it, just knocked it out of the park. And I was
That's
like,
cool.
Oh, fuck.
Nice.
You know, and then Lemmy died, and I was like, hey, you know, let's put this out. And then obviously it took a little while to put together the lyric video, which actually Joe from Moth, his 12-year-old son, did that lyric video.
Wow,
Awesome.
that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That just really shows the just how the little kids are completely progressive over top of us now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's just
Oh,
crazy.
my son Marshall, he just, when I'm with him, he just blows my mind. You know,
it's
he's
crazy.
like, I want to be a YouTuber, and you know, he's building things with Minecraft. He's teaching me about trees and stones, and, you know, all this stuff. Where do you learn this stuff from?
It's
learn from the computer.
It's pretty fucked up though, because I know we're all pretty much the same age here, and I remember going out to ride a bike or play street hockey. Sorry, Canadian A, play street hockey, whatever. But
Yeah.
you go fuck around in the forest with your buddies and build a fort or nothing, and now these kids are on iPads learning all this shit that some of the stuff I don't even know, man. It's pretty cool to see
going out
the
and
progression,
playing
right?
now is playing on the computer.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff,
creating
man.
worlds.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, believe it or not, here in California, I'm in LA technically, but LA is a very, 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 very large city.
Yes, it is.
I cannot say very enough times. It is massive, and I live sort of in the sticks, but I'm technically in LA County. So growing up, it was the same shit. It was street hockey, riding your bike, building forts in the hills, you know, snake hunting. We got a lot of that kind of shit around here, reptiles. You know, so we'd go out and look for snakes and lizards. And so it's very similar. A lot of people think of California, they think of Hollywood. But Hollywood is a very, very small place.
Yeah, it's very small.
Hollywood itself is only like maybe 10 blocks of something that's, you know, fuck 1,000 square miles or something.
Yeah.
If I drove from my house, I'm on the northernmost point of Los Angeles County. If I drove to the southernmost point of Los Angeles County, it would take me like 2.5 hours.
Wow,
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's with traffic on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it take you fucking 5 hours.
But when isn't there traffic?
Yeah, there's always traffic.
Really quick, Justin. I wanna say that I know Shane Tucker from LA. I met Shane.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. I met Shane at the Hard Rock. My wife and I just went in there because she worked at the Hard Rock in Vancouver, and so we went in there and just sat down and had a good meal. And Shane came up to me, sat down next to me, and he said, "Brother, I'm gonna play some Black Label for you." And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" kind of thing. And he said to me, "You know what?" He goes, "You're wearing a Black Label shirt. I'm gonna play some Black Label for you." So he played. Honestly, I can't remember the song now, but so he played some Black Label for us, and we met him at the Rainbow that night, and we had a couple of drinks for dime, and I met Rita that night too. I think. Well, probably for the second time, but it was a great night, and apparently you know Shane. I guess the metal community is fairly tight in LA. So
well, actually, it's a funny thing because Shane is actually from Texas.
Yes, yes. I've heard the stories.
Come on.
Come on.
He was part of that whole Pantera thing. And
Yes.
And Crown by Fire is really big in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That's cool.
We're bigger there than we are in LA.
Yeah.
And so then when I joined Moth, I'd go out drinking with Dewey, and then his buddy Shane would be there, and that's how I met Shane.
That's
and
cool.
Shane's one of those guys where, you know, you feel like you've known him your whole life.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I
You know what I mean?
completely understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we did NAMM together, you know, and he's just the fucking greatest, man, you know, and so yeah, he's a really close. I actually feel bad because they've been asking me to go out and go to the Rainbow and blah 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 blah, and I haven't been able to make it. I've been working a lot, and I need to make it back down there because I miss all of them. Actually, Shane saved my ass one night. We went to Lucky Strike, and we're drinking beers, and I was just going to have a few beers so that I could get my ass home, and caught a little buzz, and then some black dude with Rastafari and dreadlocks was like, I was out on the porch smoking a cigarette, and he's like, "Hey man, you want a hit of this?" I was like, "Yeah, sure," and I smoked this weed, and next thing you know, I couldn't talk.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and Shane walked me from Lucky Strike to his apartment and put me on his couch, and I passed out on his couch. He saved my ass, man.
Solid, man. Solid.
Yeah.
He's got a cool little apartment too. I like that place.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah.
I had something I wanted to do with you here. Are you up for playing a quick game of word association where I rifle off a name and you give me a 1 or 2 word answer as to how the first thing that comes to your mind?
Sure.
Okay. I got about 5 or 6 of them here, so we'll just start. The first thing that comes to your mind is blurted out. Slayer.
Satan.
Okay. Corey Taylor.
Corey Taylor, I would say Harmony.
Harmony.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Slipknot.
Heavy.
Gene Simmons.
The Boss.
Nickelback.
Canada.
I love it.
Pantera.
Texas.
Zach Wilde.
Unnicer.
Unnicer. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you for that,
Unnicer.
my brother.